Welcome back. With the National Day of Prayer just one day away, we are turning our hearts toward faith, hope, and healing. Earlier this week, I spoke with Kerry, an author, speaker, and ministry leader who's playing a key role in this year's event. She told me how prayer has carried her through times of suffering and why turning to God is so crucial in today's world. Here's our conversation. Kerry, welcome. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me. This is exciting.
It's fun to have you in person. So National Day of Prayer, why is it so important, and what are you most looking forward to this year?
Why is National Day of Prayer so important? Because that's where the power of God is. We can bring down His power, and the idea of the nation coming together to unite around something so important for the sake of peace and wholeness in our nation. I mean, this is just glorious.
One of the chapters from your new book, The Way of Becoming, is actually being featured as a resource, a free resource, in alignment with the National Day of Prayer. The chapter is called Stand. Can you tell us a little bit about the book, but specifically this chapter and why you chose to share it?
Sure. So the book is about soul care, and it's about becoming whole out of brokenness. And the chapter called Stand is really about how do you withstand the hurricanes that you face in life. And it's a really good resource around how you engage with the Lord when things are really hard, when you can't see in the darkness. And it's the theme around National Day of Prayer this year. It's about pouring out to the God of hope. And so Stand is about how do you access the God of hope.
You mentioned this, but it's your story. Tell us a little bit about that.
That chapter is about when I lost my baby. She was stillborn. And there was a lot of other factors. There were multiple storms happening in my extended family's life. And that's really what a hurricane is. It's multiple storms coming together, and that's how a physical hurricane forms. And so we were in one of those hurricanes, and I wanted to know, how do I access God? How do I not become destroyed? And how do I come out on the other side of this and become whole again? And what is the Lord saying to me in the loss of my child? And so it begins with the origin story, but then it takes people through, okay, now look at your story. How can you become whole? How can you access God in your need, in your hurricane?
Yeah, and you also, you co-authored the official National Day, the National Day of Prayer song, I Will Stand, that kind of goes in line with that. Tell us about that, and it's with members of the Casting Crowns. Yes. How did you get in, how did you get hooked up with them, and how did this all come about?
Yeah, so my husband used to travel with Stephen Curtis Chapman and Casting Crowns and different Christian music artists around the orphan care ministry that we used to do, and we became friends. And Melody and Joanne DeVivo, two of the original band members, and band members for all of the 20-some years that they've been together, they would come alongside of my retreats that I did, the Becoming retreats, and do music. And we ultimately started writing music together to go with the curriculum of my book, The Way of Becoming. And one of the songs that we did was called I Will Stand. Kathy Branzell from the National Day of Prayer, she's the president of the task force, had read my chapter, was moved by it, wanted to use it as a prayer resource for this year, but she saw that there was a poem, that's what she thought it was, at the end of the chapter. And she said, I really love this, we'd love to use it. And I said, well, it's actually a song. And then I had her listen to the song that we did, and she said, I would love this to be the theme song for the 2025 National Day of Prayer. And so it became the theme song. There's a music video. It's being featured in the broadcast on May 1 as part of that. And we just had it translated into Spanish, actually.
So I want to talk to you while you're here. You and Courtney Smallbone were guests this week on Abigail Robertson's Heaven Meets Earth, CBN's new podcast. How did that go? What did you all talk about? Give us a little bit of a sneak peek.
Yeah, I mean, it's an incredible podcast. First of all, Abby and Ryan Bethea are amazing hosts. I'm so excited about this series that they're doing, and we were really honored to be part of it. Courtney Smallbone and I have been walking together because she and I have both suffered the losses of children and also witnessed extraordinary miracles. And the sneak peek is that our podcast that we did was about how do you deal with the tension of extraordinary loss in your life, but also knowing that God is real and that He performs miracles, because both of us have experienced both. And how do you address those tensions, and how do you heal out of the brokenness, and how do you glorify God in all of it?
Well, you embody all of that, everything that you're saying. You walk it out so well, Courtney. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And that's Kerry, not Courtney. She will be featured as featured guest on the official National Day of Prayer broadcast. You can watch the full program tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern on the CBN News Channel, our YouTube channel, or the CBN News app. To find the CBN News Channel in your area, go to watchcbnnews.com.